It's great to be here with all of you, and I'm really excited to get the opportunity to introduce kind of the next segment here. One of the many reasons to be genuinely excited about the future of our industry is the unprecedented collaboration taking place across all segments to drive gender equity. Working together to create a culture change, gather needed data and insights, and share best practices will help us go faster and further. That's good for our industry, that's good for our organizations, and it's good for individuals building careers in the food industry. We are very pleased to welcome these industry leaders to share their thoughts about how we magnify our impact by working together. Let me start by introducing the President and CEO of the National Restaurant Association and my good friend, Dawn Sweeney. Chair of the National Restaurant Association Board and Executive Vice President and General Counsel of Let Us Entertain You Enterprises, Perry Mason himself, Jay Stieber. Chair of the NRA's Educational Foundation, co-founder, co-owner, and king of Las Vegas, Metro Pizza, Sam Ficini. President and CEO of the International Food Service Manufacturers Association, Larry Oberkfell. Chair of the FMA Board and Senior Vice President of National Food Service Operations for Coca-Cola North America, Mr. Red himself, Ben Shanley. And past chair of the International Food Service Distribution Association and president of McLean Food Service, Tom Zizanetta. Also, please welcome back to the stage to moderate our panel, WFF President and CEO, Hattie Hill.
Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for joining us. That's pretty awesome, Larry.
Hey there.
How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Good. Miss Dawn, Jay, Sam, my favorite. No. See, a fight always starts. So we are so excited to have this panel, and we want to get right to it. Just if you think about it, we've had some amazing leaders gathered here from so many different segments of the industry. And it goes back to what I said when we opened about our alignment. And so this, to me, is the greatest testament of collaboration happening across the industry that we could have. Let's give them a round of applause again. Thank you. When we have distributors, manufacturers, and operators in the same place at the same time with the same purpose to drive gender equity and lead the way, that's pretty powerful. So we thank them for joining us, and we want to get right into the questions. So Dawn, I want to start with you. The food industry is collaborating around gender equity at a level not seen. So this is unprecedented. Why do you think it's important?
So I'd like to just begin by saying, Hattie, I really want to congratulate you and the leadership of WFF because, as you pointed out earlier, just to put a finer point to it, this really is the very first time that we have taken on a challenge this vital across the entire ecosystem of the food industry. And you were the very first to bring this concept of the ecosystem of the food industry forward. When you take the operator community, the manufacturer community, the distributor community across the entire enterprise of food service, you have trillions of dollars of impact in this economy. In the operator segment alone, 15 million people employed, more than half of those women, $800 billion of economic impact. If we can move the needle for women in this industry, in the operator segment alone, let alone distributors and manufacturers, which others will speak to, we can change, quite literally, the employment world. And so we are extremely excited from an operator perspective and from the perspective certainly of the National Restaurant Association. We have the chairs of both of our organizations here today to speak more specifically to this. We are enormously excited to be part of this journey, to be able to make a difference. As you said, 49% of entry-level jobs in this industry, in the operator side, are women. 46% of them are mid-level management are women, and then we fall off a cliff when we start going up the opportunity of advancement, and we are going to change that. We absolutely, positively, together are going to change that.
Awesome. That's great point, Dawn. Great point. So, Larry, we were at your conference, and I have to admit, this was really your idea, and I just appreciate letting you share it with us. We talked about it we had the Secretary of Labor talking about talent, so why do you think it's important?
Well, thank you, Hattie, for having me here today. Sure. It was our idea, by the way, not my idea.
Okay.
You know, when you have insights, like we'll have from the McKinsey study, when you have real insights that people can believe in, then you can develop a true best practice. And the one thing I know about food service is that this is a people business, right? That's what we always say, and it's true. But sometimes we forget that good best practice is the key to change this industry. So I really look forward to taking that data and creating best practice, and then socializing it, right, through the industry, through every aspect. Awesome. And I think by doing that, we'll be able to have a watershed moment that you talked about earlier.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you. Thank you for that. So, Jay, I've had the honor of serving on the National Restaurant Association board and serving under your leadership, and it's just been amazing. You represent those women that Dawn was talking about earlier. Why do you think this is important?
Well, before I get into that, I want to thank you for inviting me here to be part of this amazing gathering. It's really a privilege to be here. I think it's important because gender equity is right, not only for our industry, but for all of American industry. It's been too long in coming. The restaurant industry is addressing the issue, and we are going to be leaders on the issue. You know, our industry is an economic juggernaut. We're 4% of gross domestic product. We provide opportunities to people of all backgrounds. We are a microcosm of America. We employ 14.7 million people, 1 in 10 working Americans, and we're proud that so many millions of them are women at all levels of the industry, entry-level, supervisors, managers, operators, and in fact, women-owned restaurants are opening at a faster pace than the industry as a whole. When you talk to operators...
I think they want to clap for that, Jay. I heard.
Okay. When we talk to operators, the number one issue that we hear are the challenges in recruiting, hiring, and retaining quality talent. That's going to get more complicated because over the next 10 years, we project 1.6 million new jobs. We are not going to be able to attain that unless we move the needle forward on the gender equity issue, because women are going to be critical to having the employment that we need. So this push for new jobs is only going to happen if we move the needle forward. And if the gender equity issue needs a little push, business reality is going to help make that happen. So I see 3 positives for the industry. Number one, as we become viewed as an industry that embraces gender equality, we will open the doors for more and more people, more and more women, to look at our industry as a better career choice, one where they have unlimited potential. The second point is that it's been shown in studies that diverse management groups come up with better business decisions. They generate better business outcomes because they bring different points of view to the table. And finally, I would say that our industry thrives the more we know about our customers. And diverse management teams bring to the table the changes and issues and the wants of our customers. So everybody wins.
Absolutely, absolutely. Appreciate that. So, Ben, I was at the conference when you took over the role as chair, and the manufacturing community has been so supportive. So tell us, how do you think gender equity gives us an advantage for manufacturers?
Well, I think what the group has started with, and again, I ditto, thank you for having us all here. You know, it's going to take an army, and the combination of all trading partners working on this together. I think we're going to be successful sooner rather than later. But you know, you went through a lot of statistics when you opened for us, and it's pretty incredible what the opportunity is. Just thinking about the purchasing power of women, not just domestically, but think about it from a global perspective. $18 trillion, I think, is the number by the end of this year from a purchasing power globally. So this isn't just a domestic opportunity. It certainly is a global one. But one of the things we haven't talked about is really how we have tried to approach it. And in our organization, it clearly has started from the top down. Our chairman, Muhtar Kent, a number of years ago, made this a priority. Again, from a global perspective, it was top of mind. But it doesn't stop there, and it wasn't just his words, it was the actions. I think anybody that knows Kathleen Tremello, and we just saw her on stage a minute ago, she's pretty passionate about this topic. And it's transformed every day in everything that we do, from the hiring practices to our development programs, and I think it's paid dividends for us over time. But I think the answer to that question is, if all you have to do is take a look at those companies that have embraced it, and you take a look at the results that those companies have really driven, it pales in comparison to what has happened for those companies that don't. So I think there's a business case to support it. There's a human approach to it, just from a logic perspective and a fairness perspective. And we're trying to all work on that. And I think as a group, again, with this conference, we're going to be successful.
Awesome. Thank you so
bet.
much, Ben. That's great. I love it. So I mentioned when I was out earlier that Tom had literally gotten on the phone to reach out to the distributor community. And we so appreciated that, because, Tom, we didn't have a lot of time, and you were just a champion for us. So we really do appreciate it, because without that, we would probably not have been able to collect the data that we've collected. So thank you again, and applause for Tom since he's out on the stage now. So I know that talent is a strategic priority, that is one of our biggest challenges, as we've all said. What is the unique challenge when you decided to really step up and really push the needle with the distributor community? Why did you think it was so important?
First of all, thank you for having us here.
You're welcome.
And I think it's important. I think it's important because, you know, we all know each other, and we share a common vision of how to make this a better industry. And certainly gender equity is one of the steps to getting to be a better industry. So we're glad to be here on the stage together and talking about this. Now, I'm here representing IFTA because our chairman and our CEO both were going to be out of town this week and couldn't do it. So I think it's important to note that the heads and leaders and folks that are part of the IFTA board discussed 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5 years now, when I was chairman, about what we needed to do differently. Because talent, and a lot of people in this room are going to agree with this statement, I believe, that one of the single biggest hurdles for us to overcome to grow our business in today's world is not finding the talent to do it. We have to work as an industry. We have to work together as an industry to figure out how to attract, how to retain, and how to grow the talent that we have in our business. And the IFTA board agreed on that, and we decided that we weren't doing a very good job as an association. So we started the Women in Distribution stream in IFTA at our meetings to try and encourage more women to get involved. The fact is, I think it's safe to say that distributors feel we're not in the right place yet. but it's a journey. And we are moving down the road on that journey, and our goal is to get better, to get to a better place, to raise the needle, raise the bar, so that we are able to unleash the energy, frankly, that comes from attracting a broader talent pool. Absolutely. And talent is something that we all worry about. And I know I speak for the distributors that are here when I say that we need to figure out how to attract that talent. And frankly, it's not the easiest thing in the world to attract women to come and drive our trucks or work in our DCs. We have to do a better job, though, of figuring out how maybe we can do just that. Because it's from those operational roles that often folks in our company rise to higher levels.
Absolutely.
So that's what's going on with distributors.
Well, that's right, Tom. And I do want to echo, because Mark Allen, the CEO, is very much aligned with Larry and Dawn and I in this effort, and has been very supportive, and know that he had something planned prior to this, but please know that that did not mean he was not supportive. Last night we brought, and I think Susan introduced them, about 15 students that are here with us. And we started this last year just to get some feedback on talent and the industry and understanding. And so you're absolutely right, because we had people who we didn't even know the industry existed. So that, I think we have to start to get the message out there, and it really will help us attract talent. I totally agree with you. So Sam, speaking of students, Sam is the chair of the National Restaurant Educational Foundation, and is super spearheads the 140,000 ProStart students annually. The talent, okay. It's really the talent pipeline, right? And and tell us about that, because I think that speaks to what Tom is saying. Where's the talent coming from?
Let me start by saying in my family's native tongue, mille grazie, which means 1,000 thank yous for putting this together and including me in here. I can answer your question in 2 words: communication and inspiration. The numbers coming out of ProStart that would be of the most interest to this audience indicate that we're on the right track. 65% of all ProStart students are female. 65% of all ProStart, go ahead.
Go ahead, I love that.
There'll be a lot of this. 65% of all ProStart scholarship recipients are female. The majority of students that earn a certificate of achievement are female.
Wow.
And 80% of all ProStart instructors around the country are women. Plus, 75% of all ProStart instructors had prior experience in our industry. Now, while the ProStart program does a great job of training our students in the culinary and restaurant management disciplines of our industry, we will need to be doing more if we hope to be able to demonstrate to these students that ours is an industry of vast opportunity, especially since the publication of the McKinsey report. And we have begun to do more. Tomorrow, there'll be a video that's released by the National Restaurant Association Educational Foundation that will go out to all 1,800 ProStart schools located in all 50 states and seen by all 140,000 ProStart students. Featured in the video are Food Network's Guy Fieri and Top Chef's Carla Hall. And they will be speaking directly to the students, encouraging them in their efforts and supporting their decision to enter our industry. But our students are impressionable teenagers. And they need to hear more than just from the media superstars of our industry. They're ready to be inspired by the amazing success stories in this room, by the giants in this room. The Roz Mallets, the Sally Smiths, the Lorna Donatones and Susan Adziks, the Julia Stewarts, the Dawn Sweeneys, the Lisa Ingrams, and the Denny Marie Posts of our industry. So, thank you.
Absolutely.
So, as we prepare to work hard to bring a gender equity to our industry, I encourage all the giants in this room to dedicate some of your time, some of your energy, and some of your resources to work with these impressive group of young people that have chosen at a remarkably early age to enter our industry as their career of choice. I'm talking about 140,000 ProStart students today. And if you do that, I am certain that you will affect the future of our industry in dramatic ways that you could have never imagined. Thank you.
Awesome. Wow.
It's true.
That's pretty powerful. So Lorna's going to say, really, no, definitely don't talk about the business case. You just gave it again. So these are some powerful messages. First and foremost, thank you for sharing your time and your thoughts. We talk about this a lot, but now we've got something to work with, which is the data. And it's powerful to hear your perspectives. It's humbling for me to get your support, for you all to trust WFF for that amazing opportunity for the industry. And we sincerely thank you for coming to spend this time with us. So let's have a closing applause for